What if I told you that the most crucial decision you will ever make in your life isn't about your career or where you will live, but who you choose to marry? Yes, you heard it right. The choice of the person whom you will marry holds immense significance. It's a decision that will shape your happiness, your dreams, and even your peace of mind. Now let's take a step back and think about this. When you're choosing a spouse, what are you really looking for? Is it their looks, their bank account, or perhaps their social status? While these attributes may seem appealing, they are superficial aspects that time can erode. But there's something more profound, more important, that you should be considering. The spirit behind the person. I know you probably didn't think of that, but this is probably the most important aspect when it comes to choosing a life partner, and I will explain why. You see, the kind of spirit a person possesses is one of the most crucial things that makes that person who they are. Because when you marry a person, you are not just marrying them physically, but you are also marrying the spirit behind the person. In other words, you are marrying the person behind the person. The spirit I speak of isn't some mystical, intangible entity. I'm talking about the essence of that person, their character, the fruits they bear in life, and what they are like inside. It's about the personality and character they exhibit as a person, and not just about how they look. These are the traits that form the bedrock of a lasting, fulfilling marriage. But sometimes, in the rush of passion or the pressure of societal norms, people often overlook these fruits and get dazzled by the physical attributes, the charm, the charisma, and forget to look deeper. They ignore the telltale signs of bad character and the red flags waving in their faces. And then we wonder why the marriage, which started with such promise, crumbles into a heap of disappointment and heartbreak. It's important to remember that when you marry a person, you're not just marrying their outward appearance, but you're also marrying what they are made up of. If they're abusive, arrogant, or prideful, that's the package deal you're signing up for. Remember, who you marry can have a direct impact on your life, and it is this choice that will shape your future, define your happiness, and define how happily or how sad you will live. Many people walk down the aisle every single day with someone they clearly know down deep isn't the right person for them. They go ahead with the hopes that things will get better, but you better be careful. It's one thing to have faith. It's another thing to walk into something when you clearly see the red flags. I say this confidently with the humility of God. There is no marriage that ever broke down where red flags were not displayed in advance. Every time he beat you, every time he cheated on you, every time she threatened to walk away if you didn't give her expensive gifts, were all red flags. The only problem was you chose to ignore them. All those little signs you saw were signals. They weren't there for nothing. God allowed you to see them so that they can be a warning to you, but you chose to ignore them. And because you chose to ignore them, God has no other option than to respect your desires. Never walk down the aisle with someone God hasn't confirmed, and with someone your spirit hasn't settled down with. So take a moment to pause and ask yourself, what are you really getting into? Are you making the right choice? When it comes to marriage, this is a long life covenant. In fact, let me tell you, marriage is one of the only few things God doesn't give you a specific timeline for. Do you know why? Because he wants you to do it not under pressure, but to do it the right way. Never ever put yourself under pressure and end up marrying the wrong person. You will regret it for life. Because a bad marriage doesn't just affect your love life. It affects your entire being. Whether your children, career, or whatever you can imagine. That's what a bad marriage can do. It is important that before you go ahead to marry someone, you take enough time to seek God's will for your marriage. There is no need to try to run ahead of yourself. When you are running in the wrong direction, speed is not an advantage. Just as God also allows us to come in contact with those he positions for us, the devil also has the ability to send counterfeits. And it is these counterfeits that are always very charming. The good one with a beautiful personality might even be someone who doesn't have all the looks and money you want. But this person might be the one who will give you the true happiness you always wanted. It's unfortunate that most people would rather choose someone with a bad spirit, abusive and dramatic, over someone who is peaceful, loving and calm. But you might ask, how do you discern the spirit of a person? The answer is simple. It's through the fruits they bear. First, we have love. Love is not just about feelings or attraction. It's a commitment, a choice to value and prioritize another person above oneself. A person who truly loves will be selfless, kind, and patient. Next, we have joy. This is a deep-seated happiness that isn't dependent on circumstances. It's a joy that radiates from within. A joyful person is someone who will keep the environment light-hearted, not someone who constantly goes into a bad mood when you least expect it, always leaving you wondering what went wrong. This is also known as emotional stability. A person with joy will be a source of positive energy in your life. Then there's peace. A person who possesses peace is not easily swayed by the storms of life. They remain calm and composed, providing stability and reassurance in times of uncertainty. Patience comes next. In a world that often demands instant gratification, patience is a rare gift. A patient person will understand that good things take time and they won't rush into decisions or actions without careful thought. Other fruits of the Spirit include kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. Each of these qualities speaks volumes about a person's character and their suitability as a spouse. Someone who embodies these fruits will treat you with respect, remain faithful to you, and exercise self-control in their actions and words. But remember, these fruits are not just for show. They are not something a person can put on and take off like a piece of clothing. These fruits need to be deeply rooted in a person's character, growing naturally out of their relationship with God. They provide the foundation for a relationship that is built on mutual respect, understanding, and love. So when choosing a spouse, don't just look at the surface, look deeper. Look for the fruits of the Spirit. In a world that places so much emphasis on physical beauty, it's easy to be led astray. We often find ourselves captivated by the outward appearance of potential partners, dazzled by their looks, their style, or their physique. When we focus primarily on the physical, we risk overlooking the internal qualities that truly make a person who they are. Imagine you're choosing a car based solely on its exterior. You're so enamored by its shiny paint and stylish design that you fail to check the engine, the brakes, or the mileage. After a while, the car begins to break down and you're left with nothing but regrets. Similarly, choosing a spouse based on physical attributes can lead to an unhappy marriage when we discover that their character is not as attractive as their outward appearance. This doesn't mean physical attraction should be completely ignored, but it should be secondary to the person's character, values, and their spirit. The fruits of the person are the true measure of their worth. They are the qualities that will sustain a marriage and make it thrive. Remember, when you marry someone, you're not just marrying their physical form, but the spirit within them. If you choose someone with a beautiful spirit, you'll find that their physical beauty becomes even more radiant over time. But it's the spirit that fosters a deep and lasting bond. So when choosing a spouse, look beyond the physical. Seek a partner whose spirit resonates with yours, and you'll find a love that is not only deep, but also enduring. While we have the freedom of choice, God plays a crucial role in our journey to find the right spouse. God, in His infinite wisdom and love, orchestrates circumstances that lead us to potential spouses who align with His plans for us. He equips us with the discernment to recognize these divine appointments. This discernment is like a compass, pointing us towards individuals who bear the fruits of the Spirit, the very attributes needed to sustain a healthy, loving marriage. Don't rush the process. Be patient and trust in His perfect timing. May God guide you in this wonderful adventure. Thank you for watching.